Elisa Lam. The Vanishing in Room 506. Sometimes, the truth is darker than the myths we invent to explain it. Los Angeles. January 26, 2013. It was just another chilly evening in downtown LA when 21-year-old Elisa Lam checked into the notorious Cecil Hotel. She was traveling alone, here to explore the American West Coast during a break from her studies at the University of British Columbia. But what began as a solo adventure soon spiraled into a chilling, real-life horror story, one that would captivate the internet, spawn endless theories, and leave behind more questions than answers. A haunted place, the Cecil Hotel was never just a hotel. Since its opening in 1927, it had been a magnet for tragedy. Locals whispered about its cursed past. Paranormal investigators avoided it. Murders, suicides, drug overdoses, and serial killers. She likely had no idea about the building's grim legacy, including Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. All have ties to this place. When Elisa checked into room 506, her family, who called her every day, couldn't reach her. The Vanishing Elisa kept a blog. She was open about her mental health struggles, bipolar disorder, and depression. She posted about books, loneliness, and her desire to connect. On January 31st, 2013, she vanished. The hotel staff hadn't seen her. She had stopped updating her blog, left her belongings in her room, and seemingly weird. Days passed. Chaos went up around LA. The police launched a search. Chaos, she peeks out into the hallway, as if someone is following her. But it was the release of a single video that changed everything. It was the last time anyone saw Elisa Lam alive. Then, she steps out of frame. The doors close. The elevator footage, February 13th, 2013. LAPD released the now infamous elevator footage of Elisa. In the grainy surveillance video, Elisa is seen entering the hotel elevator alone. She presses multiple floor buttons. The doors remain open. She appears confused, then terrified. Her hands move strangely, almost as if she's interacting with someone or something unseen. In that ... The footage went viral. Millions of people watched and analyzed every frame. Paranormal theories exploded online. Was Elisa being stalked, possessed, experiencing a mental breakdown? The rooftop discovery. Hotel guests began complaining about the water, low pressure, dark color, and a strange taste. On February 19th, a maintenance worker climbed to the roof to inspect the water tanks. He found Elisa's naked body floating face up inside one of the sealed tanks. The shock reverberated through the hotel and the media. How did she get there? The rooftop was locked and alarmed. The tanks were heavy and hard to access, and yet, somehow, Elisa was there. The autopsy and theories. The autopsy listed her death as accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder as a contributing factor. No drugs or alcohol were found in her system. There were no signs of physical trauma or assault, but questions lingered. Why was she acting so erratically in the elevator? It was about being young, alone, and lost in a massive, uncaring world. Lisa's erratic behavior in the footage was both frightening and heartbreaking. How did she access the rooftop unnoticed? Why were her clothes found in the tank, yet no signs of struggle? Online theorists suggested everything from foul play to a government cover-up to supernatural interference. Some said the elevator footage was tampered with, slowed down, or edited. Others pointed to the hotel's dark history. One conspiracy even connected her case to a tuberculosis outbreak happening in LA at the time, with a test named Lamila-Sa. Coincidence, or something deeper? Fear, vulnerability, and the unknown. Elisa's story struck a deep chord. It wasn't just about ghosts or conspiracies. The hotel, with its dark legacy, became a symbol of urban decay. Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe to Creepy Case Files for more true horror from the darkest corners of the real world. A possible mental health crisis played out on surveillance for the world to see. But even that explanation didn't sit right with everyone. The water still tastes strange. After her death, the Cecil rebranded and closed for renovations, and guests continued to report odd happenings. Water pressure changes, voices in the hallway, strange feelings in the elevator. One night, a tourist filming for their vlog captured something bone-chilling, a figure that looked eerily like Eliza stepping out of the elevator, briefly glancing at the camera, then vanishing. The footage hasn't been verified. Maybe the truth of what happened to Eliza Lamb died with her, or maybe she never really left the Cecil Hotel. What do you believe happened to Eliza Lamb? Was it a tragic accident, or something far more sinister? But nightmares didn't end here. A house that remembers. It wasn't the creaking of old wood or the wind howling through broken windows that made the Villisca house terrifying. It was the silence, the kind that listened. They say the past never dies. In Villisca, Iowa, it waits. The old White House at 508 East 2nd Street is just a skeleton now, bones of paint peeled back by time. But in June of 1912, it was a place of laughter, of family, Sunday dinners and bedtime prayers, till someone took an axe to all of it. 6 members of the Moore family, 2 young house guests, bludgeoned in their sleep. The doors were locked from the inside. The killer vanished like smoke. No arrests. No clear motive, no escape. The town buried the victims and tried to bury the story with them, but the house wouldn't let them. A modern visit in 2023. A documentary crew arrives in Villisca to shoot an episode on America's most haunted places. The host, Ava Riley, a skeptic with a past in investigative journalism, thinks it's all tourist bait. Cheap thrills for thrill seekers. But she needs the money. With her are Ben, the cameraman, and Ava's childhood friends, a sound tech who believes in everything. Dr. Vincent Mallory, a paranormal expert brought in by the network. They arrive at the house under gray skies. Locals avoid eye contact. An old woman at the gas station warns, if you're going to the Moore place, don't stay past midnight. They laugh it off. Inside, the air is colder, not just in temperature. In weight, it clings to the skin. In room 7, the upstairs bedroom where the Stillinger girls were killed, Jules's mic picks up a whisper. Why did you bring them here? But no one spoke. They reviewed the footage. The whisper isn't just faint, it's layered. Dozens of voices saying the same line in different tones. Male, female, childlike. Dr. Mallory wants to stay the night. Ava agrees. As darkness falls, the house begins to remember. Midnight whispers. The crew sets up static cameras in each room. Night vision, EMF detectors, infrared audio. Jules hangs up a string of bells at each threshold. By 11:30 p.m., everything is in place. At midnight, the bells ring. No wind, no movement on any footage. Just sound. Jules gasps. Her sound equipment shows bursts of static like heartbeat spikes. In the background, a slow, dragging noise. Ben checks the hallway camera, sees nothing till he rewinds. Frame by frame, a shadow slides past the attic door. Human-shaped, but too tall. Ava tries to rationalize. Old houses creak, light plays tricks. But then the attic door opens, slowly, creaking loud enough for everyone to hear. They rush upstairs. Nothing inside but dust, until Jules points to the far wall, scratched into the plaster. They saw, they screamed, they stayed. Dr. Mallory mutters, residual haunting, or an invitation. Ava decides to sleep downstairs. The others stay up, cataloging evidence, but one by one, they fall asleep until only the house is awake. Jules vanishes sometime around 3 a.m. Ava hears a scream. She bolts upright, runs upstairs. The others are waking up groggy, but Jules is gone. Her equipment bag sits open by the hallway. One of the bells is crushed beneath it. Ben checks the footage. On the attic cam, Jules walks into the room, alone, looking confused, toward the far wall. Eyes widen. She opens her mouth as if to scream, but no sound emerges. Then she vanishes. Just like that. Dr. Mallory says, "It took her." Ava snaps. What the hell is it? He shows them an old case file. 1912. A preacher who confessed, then recanted, said a demon made him do it. That the house was a mouth, that it eats people. Ben wants to call the police, but their phones are dead. They tried the door. It won't open. Ava looks back up the stairs. The attic door is wide open, and the whisper returns. 1 gone, 2 to go. The house shifts. Ben and Ava barricade the attic. Dr. Mallory places protective runes on the door using chalk and salt from his kit. Ava mocks him at first, but the fear in his eyes shuts her up. They decide to search the house again for jewels. Ben suggests they split up to cover more ground. Ava hesitates. That's how people die in horror movies. Dead, but they do it anyway. Ava checks the basement, a cramped, musty space barely lit by her flashlight. On the far wall, she finds child-sized handprints in soot smudged across a mirror. The same handprints appear behind her, though she hasn't touched anything. Upstairs, Ben searches the children's bedroom. The EMF spikes red. A cold breath brushes his neck. He turns. The bed rocks slightly, as if someone just got up suddenly. The whisper returns directly in his ear. "She's watching you." Ben sprints out of the room. Meanwhile, Dr. Mallory is studying the living room walls. He finds something beneath the wallpaper. Old writing, hidden like a curse. "As it was done, so it shall be done again. One by one, till silence." Ava returns from the basement, visibly shaken. "We're not just being haunted, we're being hunted." As they regroup in the parlor, the lights go out. The cameras die. Outside the windows, figures gather. Not people, not fully formed. It's like memories wearing skin. The front door unlocks itself. The guests return. The door creaks open, revealing the street outside. Empty, but wrong. The moon is too close. The sky, red. Ben inches forward, peers out, and sees himself standing at the end of the walkway. Same clothes, same camera harness, only ... The face is wrong. The duplicate grins and raises an axe. Ben slams the door shut, locking it again. We're trapped in its memory. Ava and Mallory scan the house for any possible escape. But now, the layout has changed. The hallway leads to different rooms. The bathroom has no mirror. The kitchen looped into the attic somehow. They find Jules' recorder, still running. The last recording is her voice whispering, "Don't trust what you see." It's pretending. Ben hears footsteps above. He grabs a flashlight and runs to the attic. Jules is there, or something wearing her shape. She turns slowly. Her eyes are solid black. "I didn't scream," she says. "I didn't have to. I already knew." She raises her hand. Blood drips from her palm and points at the wall behind Ben. A name is scratched there. His dot. Ben backs away, trips. The thing lunges. Mallory yanks him back at the last second. That's not her. She's gone. The attic closes behind them with a slam. Ava screams, "We can't keep running from this. What does it want?" The whisper answers all around them, from walls, floor, and ceiling. It wants to finish the story. The ritual unveiled. Dr. Mallory digs frantically through his backpack and pulls out a crumbling leather journal. This belonged to Reverend George Kelly, the one who confessed to the murders in 1912, before he claimed the house made him do it. Ava flips through the pages, scribbles, prayers, symbols, sketches of the house's layout. Repeated phrase etched in red ink. 8 souls to open, 3 to renew. Ben asks, "Renew? What?" Mallory whispers, "The hunger." The journal details an old ritual disguised as penance, practiced by a splinter cult obsessed with absolution through death. They believed certain houses could absorb sin, could contain spiritual rot, if they were fed properly. The Velisca house wasn't just haunted, it was a vessel. Ava reads another line. The chosen house drinks what we can't cleanse. The ones who scream the loudest leave the deepest scars. Ben mutters. Jules screamed. The camera screen flickers back on, just for a second, and shows room 7, now bloodstained. The corner stands a tall, faceless figure holding a child-sized hand. Jules' voice, layered with many others, comes through the speaker. Finish what we couldn't. A deal with shadows. The group debates whether they should flee, fight, or finish the ritual. K. Mallory believes the only way to end the cycle is to complete the offering. It always takes 3, he says. That's why we were brought here. Ben refuses. We're not killing anyone. But the house doesn't wait. A scream rips through the walls. Jules, again. Only this time, her voice is coming from under the floorboards. They pry up the boards in the living room, a hidden tunnel. Narrow, coffin-tight. Ava insists on going in. The tunnel walls are scorched, symbols burned into dirt. Screams echo down from nowhere. Whispers grow louder as she crawls deeper. At the end, she finds a chamber of roots, pulsing like veins, bones arranged in circles. A shattered mirror in the center. Ava leans forward. The mirror reforms and shows her herself holding the axe. She backs away, but something crawls toward her from the shadows. It's Ben, eyes wide, muttering, I remember now. I was here before. I was the first one. His face flickers, becoming the duplicate from outside. The thing wearing Ben lunges at Ava, but Mallory drops into the tunnel and throws salt into the figure's face. It screams, convulses, and disappears into ash. Ava stares in shock. That wasn't Ben. Mallory shakes his head. No, but now we know what we're dealing with. The house doesn't just haunt. It copies, replays, rewrites, and it still needs one more scream. Who's left to scream? Back in the living room, the floorboards slam shut above them. Ava and Dr. Mallory are sealed inside the crawlspace. The air thickens. The whispers crescendo into something like chanting. Ava grips the axe she pulled from the mirrored chamber, hands trembling. Mallory kneels beside her, muttering a warding prayer. 8 souls to open, 3 to renew, he repeats. But there's something else. ... It's not just death the house craves. It's emotion, panic, despair. The scream is the offering. Suddenly, the chamber goes dead silent. From above, a soft voice calls down ... Ben ... But when they emerge from the tunnel, Ben is different. Quiet, still, too still. He stands by the old piano in the parlor, his eyes empty. A single ghostly key is being pressed down again and again, not by Ben, but by a child's invisible hand. Ben turns slowly, expression blank. I saw her, he whispers. Jules, but not her. It was wearing her like a mask. Ava steps closer. Ben, if you're still you, tell me something only you'd know. He stares at her, then smiles. You still keep your dad's dog tags in your back pocket. Even when you say you don't believe in ghosts, she freezes. That is true. But then Ben speaks again, the same exact line, same intonation, word for word. Ava's blood goes cold. She grabs Mallory and pulls him back. That's not him. Ben, or the thing wearing Ben's shape, opens his mouth unnaturally wide. From inside, a child's voice wails. She screamed and didn't stop. Walls bleed black tar, and the house begins to shake. The feeding room. They flee into room 7, the scene of the original Stillinger murders. Inside, it's changed. The furniture is pristine, like 1912 again. The wallpaper fresh, the beds made. The air filled with the scent of lavender and blood. Mallory gasps. It's rewinding. Its photos on the wall shift, morphing, until they show Ava, Ben, and Jules dressed in early 1900s clothing. Ava stumbles backward and knocks over a wooden box. Inside, a blood-stained handkerchief embroidered with her initials. "I've never been here before," she insists. "I haven't," but the house disagrees. The mirror in the corner reflects another Ava, standing behind her, holding the axe. "Maybe we're not here to end the story," Mallory says. "Maybe we're here to relive it." Suddenly, Ben's voice calls out again, softer this time. "Please, help me." They rush toward the sound into the attic. It's now pitch black, save for the glowing outline of a door that didn't exist before. On it, a sign reads, "Witness Room." They enter. Inside is a circle of chairs. 7 figures sit, heads bowed, unmoving, dressed like the Moore family. An 8th chair is empty. Dr. Mallory steps forward and gasps. The figures are wax dolls, lifelike. One of them turns its head, a whisper from all around. "One must stay to tell the story." Mallory looks at Ava. "It's you or me." Ava steps forward. But then Mallory shoves her back. "I've seen enough death. You still have time." He sits in the final chair. The house begins to glow from the walls. The faces of every victim flash for a moment and then vanish. The attic door opens again. The curse is lifted. But as Ava escapes into the morning light, she hears Mallory's voice behind her, distant and layered. 8 souls to open, 1 to remember. The exit isn't free. Ava stumbles out of the house as dawn cuts through the gray sky like a blade. The morning light touches her skin, but the warmth is missing. Everything feels ... wrong. The house looks unchanged from the outside. Quiet, still, almost peaceful. A white picket fence surrounds a lawn that never grows. The townspeople are gathered across the street, silent. The old woman from the gas station stands at the front. "Did you leave one behind?" she asks. Ava, dazed, nods. "He ... He chose to stay." The woman's expression hardens. "Then you've bought time, not peace." Ava tries to speak, but her throat tightens. The house hums behind her, a sound like a lullaby sung in reverse. She turns to look one more time. The curtains in the upstairs bedroom part slightly. A face watches her, Ben's, or at least something wearing Ben's face. She collapses on the street. Locals rush to help, murmuring another one made it out. Just like that, like it happens often. The authorities are called, but the story she tells doesn't fit any box. Her footage is corrupted. The recordings are just static. Her emails vanish. The episode never airs. Back in her apartment, weeks later, Ava begins seeing reflections that don't match her movements. Kira's tapping on her windows at night. Always 7 knocks, and on her phone. Kaya voicemail arrives from a blocked number. A voice she knows. "Dr. Mallory, you escaped the house, Ava, but it didn't let go. You left something behind, and something followed you out." She deletes it, but the message returns every night at 3:17 a.m. One must stay 6 months later. Ava's new podcast, Unfinished Rooms, gains a cult following. She speaks in vague terms about Veliska, never naming it. She won't. She can't. Listeners report strange events, distorted audio, whispers embedded in her voice. One fan claimed they saw Ava in their dream, staring blankly, muttering. The attic remembers. She begins drawing the house in her sleep, in notebooks on her bathroom mirror, in the fog on windows. And every drawing has 8 windows glowing red. Therapists tell her it's survivor's guilt, trauma, hallucinations, but Ava knows better. One night, unable to sleep, she revisits the footage from Veliska, or what's left of it. Only one frame remains, a still image of room 7. But now, in the mirror, a reflection, her holding the axe. Suddenly, her camera turns on by itself, recording. Ava tries to shut it off, but it won't respond. The red light blinks. She whispers, "What do you want?" The air bends around her, distorting. And then, through the speaker, every voice from the house speaking in unison. "We need the story told. One must stay. One must remember. She stands, her eyes glassy. The camera continues recording as she walks toward the door. In the distance, 7 knocks echo again. Then, silence. Some houses keep their ghosts locked inside. Others send them back with you. So, if you ever pass through Villisca, Iowa, don't look too long at the White House on 2nd Street, okay? If you hear a whisper through the window, run, okay? Because you weren't meant to hear that part of the story.